Yo, what up? It is 10:27 p.m. Oh, what am I doing? I'm doing this out of order. Yo, what up? It is the 25th of July, 2024. It is currently 10:29 p.m. on a Thursday. I got my order of the intro wrong. To be fair, saying the day and then... Well, the order I do it is weird. Reflection I had while doing the dishes. I've never seen a UFO before. I'm pretty sure I got that letter, like, pretty recently. Okay, because, like, so, what do? I say, you'd think I would know, I greet, and then I say, I say it's the date of the month, which that's normal, at least where I'm, like, where I'm from. We do date, month, year for dating. I say it's the, well, no, I do, I say date, month, year. I go, it's the whatever of the whatever, 2024, and then I say it's currently this time on this day of the week. I mean... It is a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know when I started doing that, because I definitely didn't start with a consistent intro, and I guess I still haven't got one considering I fumbled it in the beginning. I don't have a commitment to, like, being consistent, I guess, but it just sort of ends up being like that. Like, I wasn't specifically like, I'm gonna say it this way every single time. I just sort of started that and then didn't stop. Which is also why my outros are so bad, because I never, I actually found out what to do for one. So I became a member of the HRA, but judging by the way they score me, I'm like a complete decorating doof. Why can't they see how totally awesome I am? Got that message a day ago. They love talking about the HRA, don't they? Oh, Pango is sick. We have to get medicine for Pango. I do recall that. But yeah, there's no, like, I don't have a convention or of really anything when I do these. It's just sort of whatever. But yeah, I guess my intro ends up being the same. And considering I went out of my way to correct myself when I got it, quote-unquote wrong, I guess there is at least a convention for me to be correct in it. And a notion of correctness in general. I just think if you introduce it the same way, it's a good little, it's a nice, like, setup. Because, even if you greet the day the same way, the days end up being different from one another. Or at least, usually they do. I guess when I constantly play very close to 11 p.m., they kind of similar. I think that is kind of a thing where, I'm not engaging as much with the actual, like, core of the series, which is, like, playing it whatever time, whereas usually I play it at around the same time. Not intentionally, of course. In today's case, I had... Well, from when I woke up, I had a lecture to watch, and then I had corresponding, that's the word, corresponding tutorial, like, an hour or two after that. And then, yeah, I was done with working at 3, I guess. But I did my poetry today. I have a monthly subscription to Chilling Magazine, but keeping them all up takes too much space, so I just cut out the good pages. Yeah, decorate your walls with them. Yeah, I did poetry today, which... The lecture, I was like, okay. But I actually enjoyed the tutorial, like the hands-on. I think I like writing poetry, and I don't mind analyzing poetry. I think I just am, like... I don't like it in a, I guess, I don't know... maybe not controlled environment is the word I'm looking for, but, like, when I'm being, I guess, prompted to feel a certain way about a poem from the get-go, it makes me more, I guess, resistant to it. Like, the way that the lecturer is, like, talking about the poems is like, oh, isn't that just, like, beautiful or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't really see I don't get the emotional resonance, and so having that presented to me as if it's, like, not factual, but I guess, like, clear, makes me more resistant to it, because it's like I'm being told to think a certain way from the get-go. But if I just had because I did the readings, I just, like, had those poems, and I looked at them, I was like, okay, it's interesting the way these are written. Boss, you know Daisy, right? Well, I have an urgent delivery for Daisy, but I'm really busy. Can you deliver it for me? One more thing, can you get it done in an hour? Yep. But yeah, I think any class can be, not ruined, I don't want to get that far at this, right now, but can be Well, it's affected by the teacher that you have. It's definitely gonna happen. Like, there's no questioning that. Which is, you know, some kids end up not being taught stuff correctly because the teachers they have aren't, you know, good at teaching, or, you know, just all manner of, or some kids, you know, sort of, you know, don't end up really remembering the content well because the teacher was just not a very good person, and so that kind of affects the perception of the class and therefore what is taught within the class. Stuff like that. Ah, I got a letter from Antonio the other day. Jeez, everyone's got these errands to do. Hoping you'll be able to deliver this in an hour. Okay, yeah, fine. Don't even think about opening it. I'm the little pigeon today. I'm a carrier pigeon. But yeah, I ended up doing, well, we had an in-class poem, like an ode that we had to write to a household object, and well, actually that was it for the in-class exercise. But after it was done, I had an idea for a poem, actually, which I made a little draft version of today after my class. It was like it's about time, and it's sort of describing time. But it's also, there's this form of poetry where the actual words make up a, like, form or a shape, like a drawing, but the, I guess, lines are words. And so the negative space from the, like, parts where there aren't words is in the shape of an hourglass. And I thought that was kind of cool looking. And I thought about it in my head and ended up looking pretty good. Oh yeah, I've got a delivery for you, Daisy. I forgot about this already. Well, I forgot that it was to Daisy specifically. I'm so excited. Okay, I really wasn't expecting that. You're not really my thing. Well, hang on to it. Jeez, Daisy does not like these presents. She didn't like Antonio's gift either, from what I remember. Yeah, but that poem was fun. I liked making that. And I might sort of develop that a bit more. I think the idea, and it's like, you know, well, I think the idea behind it, though, is that it's more than just, like, a visual thing I did. Although it is, you know, partially that, but, you know, time, it's sort of something that just exists, and it's something we have to make room for. It, like, you know, it's like an inevitability, right? But then, you know, we have to work around it. And so having the words physically on the page have to work around the concept of time by, you know, having to, they can't go in those spaces. I thought that was, it's good symbolism. And you can, I think for my assessment, where you have to write poetry, they let you, like, explain the thought process. So hopefully, you know, if I develop that poem, then it can end up being a good example for that portfolio. But yeah, I liked writing that poem. I think poetry's good because it lets you, have a more keen understanding to, like, what individual words can do, whereas, you know, regular forms of writing, sort of encourage you to be a bit more elaborate. Poetry is very succinct, which is something they did definitely emphasize in those first classes that I had. Between you and me, I don't like to have people I hate over to my place. Even so, and I hope you know this, you're always welcome here. Oh, that's nice, Peewee. Yeah, I don't know. It's very hard to shake that association with poetry, though, that it's, like, kind of snobbish. And I mean, look, I think it is. And I think, you know, people should be willing to accept that it is, and then just sort of say, yes, it is sort of, you know, it's definitely, like, got this reputation, and it in a sense, yes, it is like this, but it's sort of, I think, just like, yeah, accepting it and moving on, because I don't think it's, the public perception on poetry is ever really going to change, at least in the modern day, now that everything's pretty thoroughly settled into the way it is. Like, things that are old are, you know, staying old, generally. They're not getting any, you know, newer, they're not getting any, more nuanced, at least with how most people think of them, but, I mean, who knows? I guess maybe poetry could make a comeback. I mean, I suppose the haiku has a bit of a, like, a status, like, it's definitely well known, and, you know, occasionally poetry, you know, stuff in the form of poetry goes around, like a occasional meme or whatever, but generally, I mean, public perception of poetry is that, yeah, it's, like, kind of snobbish or whatever. But, I mean, I think, like, the thing about snobbery is that, like, I think, you know, it's something that people should wear, not, I mean, with an amount of self-awareness, of course, but wear, like, proudly that, like, hey, I, you know, have so much appreciation for this, or I have so much acknowledgement of this that I'm, you know, bringing it to a high, my understanding of it to a higher level. And, like, yeah, sure, the word snob maybe isn't the nicest word, but it does basically mean that. A letter from Marina. Well, that's a bit awkward. Wow, too funny. Just because I'm in a good mood, I'll let you check it out, too. Hey, cutie. Oh my god, your heart was really in that last letter. Thanks. I love fusion. It gets me all psyched. Damn. Antonio's got a good charisma. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh man, that's so like Marina. Dude, do you not know you're getting hit on? I mean, I would hope. Did you read the who it's addressed to? It doesn't. Notice how it doesn't say Antonio, unless he can't read, in which case I guess it could. It could say Antonio. Hell, you could write fine poetry in this game. Sometimes though, I do get annoyed by like, and it's sort of a modern art thing that I guess poetry sort of pioneered, is this like, I'm gonna call it like anti-art, for lack of a better term, where like the art is in the fact that it's like unconventionally basic or simple, like the, you know, the classic modern art joke of like taping a banana to a wall. And I know, I'm pretty sure that specific thing is actually real, but you know what I mean. Like, people make fun of that idea, like it's like, oh, this is, you know, like in 2 seconds anyone could have done that. And I get, and like I'm kind of on the side of, yeah, that is stupid. And I do get where people, you know, what the idea is. It's that it's accepting that art, like acknowledging art through the process, more than just the actual output. I mean, yeah, sure. But at that point, you know, if that's what you're getting out of it, then at that point it's performance art, you know, obviously. Because, you know, if the process is what's being, you know, valued in that, then the process is, you know, something that's played out, then yeah, it's performance art. But, you know, with poetry, it's like you'll have poems that are like, oh, it's like, it's gibberish, like it's just nothing. And like the idea is like that alone, like I can accept that that's art. I think people just need to be like, it isn't brilliant. It's just sort of like, it is a thing where like anyone could have made it. It's just the first guy who happened to write down a bunch of gibberish onto a page, and then that poem gets like think of the nuance in that, in a world where everyone's making these elaborate poems, that this guy's, you know, just writing a bunch of gibberish down. It's like, yeah, but I mean, I'd say the fact that the concept is so easy to replicate, it just feels so, I guess, empty to me. That idea that like, oh, this anti-art, it's like, so it's such a deeper thing. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. You delivered it on time and everything. Citrus wool, sweet. Oh yeah, I gotta go back to Pango. But yeah, like, you know, I understand as well that, you know, those sorts of art pieces, like there's that famous film, I forget what it's called, that it's literally just like one shot of a wall, and like throughout, like it's like 12 hours long or whatever. But you know, those sorts of things, the idea of them is that, you know, art is supposed to make you feel emotions, and so if you come out of that feeling anything, then you're engaging with the art and you're responding to it, which means that in a weird backwards sense, despite the, you know, inherent like absurdity of whatever it is you're looking at, the fact that you have a response to it at all shows that it's still achieving the like purpose of art. And, you know, obviously validates it as art as well, which, I mean, that's not something that has to really be, like, proven, I guess. But still. And yeah, like, I get that all, but, I don't know. I just think that that concept isn't as interesting as people make it out to be. Mainly, like I fully get what the analytical, I suppose thesis of that, idea is, but it just doesn't really like resonate with me, I guess. And I don't think anyone's like stupid for like, oh look, they deeply analyzed this, absurd poem or this absurd artwork or whatever. I don't think anyone's like dumb or like, looking into it too deeply, because I mean, no, I think if someone ought to do it, because if you think that them analyzing that thing is stupid, then there's a good chance other people think it as well. And if too many people thought that, then nobody would do it, and then that analysis wouldn't exist. Plus, I guess in another meta sort of way, that responding to that analysis in such a way is only enhancing the, like, that initial idea that, like, the response validates the art, or it, yeah, like, it's part of the art itself. Luga, luga, luga. I feel a little better. Ooh, thanks. Now I just have to talk to Hugh to get my reward for helping him with mail. Now, where is he? Yeah, but I think with poetry, I'm going to enjoy the work, but not really the class time as much. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I had a couple, I think 2 lectures that I watched live and 2 lectures that I watched after they were recorded. And on those ones that have already been recorded, I could have theoretically sped up the videos, because they have a speed up feature on the thing that I used. Well, the school uses. It didn't work. Whoa, what the heck did Zazie like? I don't know, man. So yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take before I start, fast forwarding stuff like that. But I kind of don't. I don't want to give into that too deeply, because I want to give time for the lectures. But, it's kind of hard to resist that temptation. I don't know how good I'll be at resisting said temptation by, halfway through the semester. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be it for today. I guess I've been talking on about all this education stuff now that I'm back to doing, back in my second semester, but I mean, it's kind of hard. It takes up a lot of brain space. It's kind of hard to think of anything else to talk about. But yeah, that's going to be it for today.